The Man Who Painted Stars. In a small town where the night sky stretched endlessly above quiet streets, there lived a man named Elias. He was a painter, not famous, not celebrated, just a man. With calloused hands and a heart full of colors. Every morning, he set up his easel in the town square, painting the same sky, the same trees, the same streets, over and over again. People walked past him, barely noticing. Elias didn't mind. He wasn't painting for them. He was painting for something greater, something even he couldn't quite name. Years passed. His paintings stacked up in his tiny home, the colors of 100 sunsets trapped inside wooden frames. Some people whispered that he was a fool, that he should give up, that art was for the lucky, not for the ordinary. But Elias didn't listen. Then, one winter evening, as he stood in the square, painting beneath the fading sun, an old man stopped beside him. He wore a heavy coat and carried an air of quiet wisdom. He watched Elias paint for a long time before finally speaking. "You see the world differently," the old man said. Elias nodded, unsure how to respond. The man smiled. "That's rare. And rare things are valuable." With that, he handed Elias a small card and walked away. It wasn't until later that Elias realized the name on the card belonged to a famous art dealer in the city. Doubt whispered in his mind. Could someone like him, someone who had never left his small town, truly step into the world of great artists? But he had spent a lifetime painting without recognition. He had nothing to lose. With trembling hands, Elias packed his best paintings and took the long journey to the city. The gallery was a place of shining floors and towering ceilings, filled with paintings worth more than he had ever owned. When the dealer saw Elias's work, he was silent for a long time. Then, he turned to Elias and said, "You paint the stars, even when there are none." And just like that, everything changed. Elias's paintings found homes in galleries, then museums. People who had never met him stood before his work and felt something they couldn't explain. His name became known, but to him, that was never the goal. He had spent his whole life painting because he couldn't stop. Because he had something inside him that needed to be seen. And finally, the world saw it too.